Good morning out there. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on this absurdly turbulent planet, especially here in the United States, part of North America. The landscape has never been this turbulent in literally generations. We're facing, of course, after the explosive attack on democracy in Washington this week, which is not necessarily over because the inauguration is still coming. Everyone is reeling in ways that are really profound and perhaps even more profound than during the Vietnam War era, where when I was a kid coming up and seeing the dislocation of things all around us. There are still signs of hope. People are human beings, every one of us, 7.8 billion and 313 million in this country. When they have the time to talk face to face without a mask on, whether it's a gas mask or a mask of identity, or whether it's a COVID mask, there's the ability to communicate and find common ground. It's really hard right now. I do find often that music is a way forward, even when other means fail. We've had musicians on here with all kinds of political backgrounds. Our yodeling cowboy, who was on a week ago, I'm quite sure voted for Donald Trump, and yet we find a way to commune and communicate. And if he was in the same room, we'd hug. I met him at a New Year's Eve party a couple of years ago at one of the ultimate socialist folkies. So it's possible to do that. So anyway, we're going to get right into the music and try to avoid too much chatter. I see in the green room, Joseph Poupe is in here from Lusaka, Zambia. Karen Brooks from her sheep farm up in Heath, Massachusetts. And with me this morning is David Ross, Patrick Jones, who just popped out, literally as I said his name. Patrick, are you ducking and covering? He'll come back. And Claudia Gibson down in Wimberley, Texas. So good morning to you both. Maybe you can unmute and say hi.
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 It's raining down here. We're gonna have snow later. It's so exciting. We never have snow.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get there. We're
nice sunny day in our little hamlet here in Beacon, New York.
So let's dive into it. I literally everyone I talked to about this issue says it's too soon to really have come grounded in a certain position. That the turmoil is still unfolding and the turmoil within us. So normally I say, how are you doing? But I think I know how you're doing, but I don't want to assume that. So how are you doing, Claudia?
I'm doing okay. This week was kind of surreal. I was working at my school job in the school library on Wednesday afternoon, watching events unfold as teenagers were sitting there on their headphones and their Chromebooks doing their Zoom classes. And so, yeah, it was strange. And the stories coming out, I mean, I used to write for a newspaper, just a little newspaper, but also for the Post, and just seeing the accounts of the journalists to me was the most compelling thing. That these are people who just their workplace where they go through every day, they were being attacked, and the sight of the picture, that photograph of the AP equipment being smashed. Yeah. And that equipment, and that picture was taken by an AP photographer. So all of that was, and the stories, the story of the police officer that was killed, who, one of his good friends who would come in every day and for many years was a Democrat, and he had voted for Trump, and they were able to be friends and joke, and he even gave her a big hug after Trump was elected because she was so upset. And just, these are human stories that once we get past these labels of people sort of attacking each other on the internet, we have to have a human connection most of all. Yeah. So thank you for doing this, Andy, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's some pictures of some of the spontaneous memorials that popped up. One for that fallen officer who was also a veteran, and already so much loss, and also just the depths of emotional trauma from this too are just still going to unfold. So, Claudia, do you have a song in mind? It doesn't have to be directly off the news, but
no, I don't write that way anyway. So it takes me a while to process everything.
Yeah,
I do have a song. I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna sing a song I wrote a few years back after I heard singer-songwriter Bruce Robinson comment that he felt like it was just an off comment he made it was a kind of a song swap gathering that I was a show I was watching. It was a wonderful show with him and Tob Snyder and the late Hal Ketchum and James McMurtry. It was a pretty amazing show. Yeah, and he said, I just feel like it's not my world anymore. And he's like, and when you're in your 20s, you feel like it's your world. You're in your 30s, and then all of a sudden you realize like some of the references you're not getting anymore, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, this song is called "The Days." Thinking back to those early days, memories are warm as the nights of June and July, the summer haze, county roads, cityscapes. We laughed till we nearly cried, love so hard I thought that we would break. It was our word and it was our time, making our plans to leave the old behind. Those were our days. Those were our days. Maybe it's not my world anymore. It's raging like a house on fire, but I can't tell what all this hurry up's for. But the truth still resonates. The spark in my lover's eye, clear blue skies and what feels like fate. This is our world, these are the times. And taking what's best, I'll leave the rest behind. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days. These are the It's a new world, and these are new times. We'll need some new plans, yours and mine. These are the days. These are These are the days.
Beautiful, Claudia. What a beautiful
Thank you.
song.
Thank you.
That one, you've sung that in several contexts since last spring, and this might be the most apt context of all.
Yeah, it was kind of hitting me as I was playing it, and I was like, And there's always been a couple. That song always felt sort of unfinished to me, which is why I haven't recorded it yet. So now I'm thinking I know.
No, I think the time
what
is.
to-
These are the
what to do
days.
to tweak it at the end and finish it.
Yeah.
So
Getting
thanks.
some nice comments, including Harlan Lee Gibson, who says, "Well said, my love. We really need to have had a rough time that day." And Cecile Bokaru Wellen says, "Beautiful." More coming. Donna Nestler, who'll be on in a little while, says, "Thank you, Claudia."
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Claudia.
Thanks.
And I do see Patrick Jones is back with a special guest too. And so David Ross,
Hey. Yeah.
what comes to mind for you these days?
Well, this week has been and remains trying. Just read that that the Congress is not going to pursue impeachment until after 100 days to allow Biden to get a leg up on his administration, which I think is very smart. But the man needs to be impeached so that he can never again run for office, and so that we don't have to pay for his protection for the rest of his life, or give him a pension.
Yeah,
all those things would just really. Anyhow, I want to try to do something kind of kind this morning, and when I think about kindness and music, I think about one of those people we lost this year again. I think about John Prine, and so I'm going to sing a John Prine song. I'm going to sing "People Putting People Down." People who are sad, sometimes they wear a frown. And people who are kings, sometimes they wear a crown. But all the people who don't fit get the only fun they get from people putting people down. People putting people down. People without love sometimes build a fence around the garden up above that makes the whole world go round. But all the people who don't fit get the only fun they get from people putting people down. People putting people down. So cold. Sometimes it gets so cold. Well, you may love your wife, you may lose your family, you may lose your mind just to keep your sanity. But the people who don't fit get the only fun they get from people putting people down. People putting people down. Well, people that are glad, sometimes they wear a smile. And people without dreams, they walk the extra mile. But all the people who don't fit get the only fun they get from people putting people down. People putting people down. People putting people down. People putting people down. So so cold. Sometimes it gets so cold.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Too much of that going on these days.
Yeah.
Finger pointing.
That's where it all starts. All that hatred out there, all
Yeah.
that hatred, and completely mindless hatred.
Yeah. God, we saw too much of that this week. And there has to be a way to look beyond the masks, just stop and pause. I did a session on Friday with some sociologists who focus on protest and also a guy from the CIA who focuses on global threats. And all we talked about was who lives on Capitol Hill and couldn't get his kid home from school that afternoon because of the disruption. She was petrified, of course. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. There has to be a way to pause, take a pause. Let's see what happens. So we have Patrick Jones and Joe Boggess in the Beacon Studios in the right down the street from David Ross in the other Beacon studio. Patrick, can you unmute and say hi?
Hello there.
Hello there indeed. And by the way, hold on one second, because I do see Joseph Pupe is here from over in Zambia.
Wow. Grab him.
Hey,
Grab him.
Hi.
So it's supper time
Hi,
there, no?
guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
How
are you, man?
Joe?
Good to see you guys, and I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
We're all hanging in there. You know, we've had this hasn't happened in the United States in this way in literally generations. An attack on the seat of government is a new thing here. In parts of Africa, that's not a new thing. In other parts of the world, in Eastern Europe, I saw someone posting from another country where every 5 years or so the parliament is invaded. So it's kind of like we're trying to figure this out, man. You have such inspiring songs, Joseph. Your songs are so inspiring and basic. And your connection right now is really good. So Patrick and Joseph, I hope you can hold on for a second, because while we have a good signal from Zambia, let's see if we can get something in from Joseph.
Absolutely. So pull us out and
that's.
Oh, you can stay. You stay. You don't have to close your screen. Just so Joseph, I don't want to waste time. Do you have a song in mind?
Yeah, I actually, with limited connection, obviously, I actually thought I could, last week of the year, I thought I could share something. I remember inboxing you about something like from Peter Siegel, that we shall overcome. So I thought maybe, especially during this time when the United States and the rest of the world are going through a rough time, we thought maybe we could just remind ourselves of the one legendary piece that we were inspired with by our late legend. Yeah, so enjoy the song, We Shall Overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I will be free. We shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today.
Andy, you're on mute.
I'm going to play the recorded version. I had it queued up just in case. It's still always a challenge from many parts of the world are still lagging, unfortunately, in their connections to the internet, which is a crucial capacity these days, not just for sharing songs. So let's go with the version that Karen Brooks and several other members of the Clearwater community and Patrick sang long distance a while back. And where's my play button? Here we go. Oh, I have to.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Well, not quite live, but in the spirit of the moment. Can you hear me okay? Had a little
Yeah.
complexity there for a second with my buttons.
Not quite live, but still very alive. You know.
Yes, that's
Still
very
sounds
much on point. So let's go again to
having-
Patrick and Joe. And Patrick, if you can unmute, that'd be great.
Hello there.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Well, say
Okay.
hi, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, introduce yourself to the world.
Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Yeah, we thought what Patrick and I do this a lot together, and it's Hallelujah, and I know it's been sung a lot, but I think the lyrics really struck me this week more than ever. I think it is a broken, and it's a cold and broken Hallelujah. It's not just religious connotation. It's really about the flag on the Marble Arch. You know, it's it just struck me anyway. So I hope you like it.
So I'm going to try to put. I hope everything is balanced this week.
Sounds good.
That sounds okay. Yes. And thank you all, especially Karen Brooks, once more for helping us with our sound and our technical. She's the technical advisor for Sunday Song and Swap. Can you hear okay, John?
I can. They say there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. Where she ties you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne and cut your hair. From your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked the floors. I used to be alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the Marble Arch. Our love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love is how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Wow. You know, songs like
Yeah.
that get so caricatured in people's minds that they lose the lyrics. And the way you sang it just now and reconnecting with some of those key lyrics makes it so newly relevant. You know, it's one of those songs that unfortunately is so wonderful that it gets oversimplified, I think, in people's heads. But that was just spectacular.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the week is, I mean, I think we've all gone through the same thing. Anyone with a conscience or clarity in their heart was so strangely and awesomely affected, like 9/11, which I was there for, within a block of that building when it was hit. The feeling of, just the feeling of how traumatic this is to the soul of people who love and care and want the world to be a better place. And anyway,
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you aboard. Come more regularly.
Yeah. You can see Joe's work on, if you know the Come Away With Me, the Nora Jones CD. That's Joe's doing the makeup for that. And he's done a bunch of other. Ladies, call him up. He's good.
oh,
So I'm going to bring in a couple of more people here. If you guys, if I know Claudia, you have to leave soon, so I'd love to fit in one more from Claudia. But also, I'm going to say good morning to Andy Chaikin in Vermont and Karen Brooks, our sheep farming folkie in Heath, Massachusetts. How are you all doing? Andy, how are you doing?
Well, like everybody else, it's been a very rugged time, and I think it's going to keep getting rugged, although God, it will be a huge sigh of relief on the 20th.
Yeah.
But I'm taking solace in things like this, actually, the things that emphasize the divine in all of us and the uplifting parts of life. So thank you for, as other people have said, thank you for doing this.
It just, to me, it's a nexus that kind of gets people a little bit past potentially some of these other divisive aspects of us. I want to offer Claudia the chance to do one more tune because she has to get going before she leaves. That was wonderful earlier.
Thank you.
Contribution.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi, Karen. How are the sheep?
Hi. Karen, how are the sheep?
Oh, you're muted, Karen.
Number of sheep.
She's muted.
Karen, you're muted.
You're muted.
You have to do your mute button.
You're muted. You are muted.
Oh, because I didn't want to be talking when Andy was talking.
That's fine.
I said, the sheep are fine. They're eating snow, which is nice for me, which means I don't have to drag out the hose and fill the water tanks, which is a pain in the butt. So I want to hear Claudia before she has to go, so I'm going to mute again.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking forward to our little 1 inch of snow this afternoon, so my Australian Shepherd can go run around in it. I know she'll be happy about that. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's kind of a busy day for me here today. I've got another thing I have to jump onto. I'm going to do a song I wrote recently, at the risk of playing another slow-ish song. And it's called Shine On. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. And sometimes the world feels so heavy, the burden of years as we toil and we strive, when luck is not even or steady.
on the prize. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Remember my lifetime companion, for better or worse we have carved out a life. Now love can bridge rivers or canyons. Take my hand and together we'll cross this divide. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light, and shine on forever in light.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Well, have a good day, Claudia.
Thanks,
Good.
Andrew.
Let's hope for a peaceful stretch ahead, despite the undercurrents of turmoil.
Yes, absolutely.
Enjoy your Texas snowstorm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, 1 inch, and people.
1 inch. I like that.
It's like James McMurtry said, it's nothing more dangerous than Texans on ice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You take care. I'm just showing briefly another image from DC. This is flowers for Officer Brian Sicknick, who died when he was attacked brutally with a fire extinguisher, of all things. And so much pain still being absorbed, based on including the loss of people who went there, lured by a president who was sort of exploiting the worst of us. There are also memorials there for the woman who was killed by an officer protecting the institution as well, and the others. Sad times still, but we're here to pull forward a little bit, honoring these losses, honoring that hard part of us that we all harbor somewhere, even deep inside. We all still have a reptilian brain that beats in there. So this is a challenging moment, and again, music is a big part of the path forward. Andy and Karen, you're on for this 11 a.m. stretch. What's on your musical minds this morning and hearts?
Andy, go first.
Okay, I was trying to be polite. Thank you, Karen. I just want to say, and Andy, you know this about me, that I write about why things go wrong in space and how to make them right. And right now I'm laboring my way through a chapter of my book on the chapter is on the Challenger disaster. And it turns out, everybody's heard of the O-rings and the fact that they shouldn't have launched when it was that cold. But so much of the root cause has to do with the stories we tell ourselves. And we have to be open to information that conflicts with what we believe. And I think so much of what's going on now is that there are silos in the country of people who are just so in the grip of the stories they're telling themselves and that other people are telling them. And I'm not sure how we get beyond that. But I guess one of the ways is to keep putting out messages that are uplifting and are true. And so musically, I've been turning a lot to a songwriter from New Zealand named Neil Finn, who is best known for being the front man in a band called Crowded House. But Neil Finn is an absolutely spectacular songwriter and has a way of being able to convey depths of despair right alongside transcendent beauty. And so I'm just going to play his first hit song called Don't Dream It's Over, which I think still resonates for me as a message of hope. I'm using a new USB mic, by the way, so tell me how the balance sounds.
Sounds great.
Good. Okay, I upgraded a little bit. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know that they won't win. Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today, tales of war and waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. I'm walking again to the beat of a drum, and I'm counting the steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the roof. Get to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. Don't let them win. Don't ever let them win. Hey now, hey now.
You're here.
Great.
Yeah, Neil Finn, he's done some great work. They're one of those bands. They did have a moment, but they maybe it should have been a longer moment.
Well, they're getting back together. They did quite a few albums into the 90s and even the aughts. And Neil Finn has had a spectacular solo output. So anybody who's interested, check out his solo work. He's just he's a towering, I don't use the word lightly, he's a towering musical talent. And he gives me sustenance in these times.
That's cool. I just tweeted out about your thoughts, and I included his tag in the tweet. So maybe he'll get in touch, get on the show. That'd be pretty cool. We'd have to pick an interesting time zone.
Yeah, that'd be a challenge.
Yeah,
I'm going to mute now.
Okay. Karen, what do you got?
Well, this song came into my head this morning. I haven't sung it in a long time, but it seems somehow appropriate. Joni Mitchell. And
Great.
so once again, my dear Johnny, my dear friend, and so once again, you are fighting us all. And when I ask you why, you raise your sticks and cry, and I fall. Oh, my friend, what did you come? To trade the fiddle for the drum. You say I have turned like the enemies you've earned, but I can remember all the good things you are. And so I ask you, please, can I help you find the peace and the stars? Oh, my friend, what time is this to trade the handshake for the fist? And so once again, oh, America, my friend, and so once again, we are fighting ourselves. And when we ask you why, you raise your sticks and cry, and I fall. Oh, my friend, how did you come to trade the fiddle for the drum? You say we have turned like the enemies we've earned, but we can remember all the good things we are. And so we ask you why, when you raise your fist and cry and we fall. Oh, my friend, how did we come to trade the fiddle for the drum?
Wow.
Thanks.
How did we
Thanks.
come?
Yeah.
I know some very peaceful drummers, though.
True.
Yeah, the fiddle for the gun. She's great. You know, that's a very undersung song too. I'm glad you pulled it out.
Thanks.
Really cool.
It just came up. I don't know, and it's really about us going to war, but it feels like we are at war with ourselves, and that's the hard part right now.
Yeah.
You know? And
No.
I have my whole mother's family's in the Midwest, and they are all Republican, and they're very loving people. And the conversations to have now are going, it's tricky. It's like how do we go on from here?
Yeah. I think I might have mentioned at one point that my older son, who lives in LA, has become deeply conservative just through this past year of turmoil, and he voted for Trump, as far as I know. I don't know. And I've had to deal with two sons who are at literally opposite ends of the political spectrum. So I know the challenge firsthand. It's an interesting one. I wanted to give Patrick and Joe one more chance to come into the musical loop, and then back to Andy too. My college buddy. Patrick, you are muted, so try to unmute there.
Hello. Can you hear me there?
Yep. Sounds
So
great.
you guys went to BU together? Were you guys in
Brown.
college? So
Brown
two and
University. Two Andys, two Brownians. I don't think we ever sang together on campus. I can't remember. There was that little coffee house.
No, I was in my James Taylor clone phase then. I did a few performances in that mode.
Pretty funny.
Oh, let me see.
I'm going to try to get Taylor on here, actually. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you should try. And what was it? The Grog in Newburyport and all those places up there in Boston, Acton, In Square Men's Bar, all those great Passine.
Oh, yeah. Club Passine. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, I'm going to do a quick tune, and I'm going to ask Joe to come on and sing with me on it. It's a co-write with my friend. I started my first band with Charlie Shue, who was the drummer for Orleans, that group Orleans, and David Ross. So the reason why I wanted to do it was in February of 2017, Charlie invited me up to Ithaca to do a song. We wanted to work on some political songs, and he was visibly shaken, by the outcome of what had happened in the election. And I think that David Ross helped me tweak it, and you and Karen have played and given me validation, and Joe's just going to sing along with me on this. So it kind of goes like this. Storm was coming on the horizon. We didn't see it coming. For some of us was a complete surprise. There was something in the counting. Well, it said we were fine. Gonna have a man and a woman leave the country for the first time. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. And we can soar through the sky on the wings of a dove. Take a look inside your heart, you know what I'm thinking of. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. Hidden voices, they were silent, and fear was building on the rise. Now we're shaken from the outcome that's right before our eyes. Yes, our nation's was backward sliding from the road that we are on, and all that's left is just one another to just keep pushing on. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. We can soar through the sky on the wings of a dove. Take a look inside your heart, you know what I'm thinking of. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. When I was younger, my father told me the pendulum is always gonna swing. I never realized these years I'm older. In my heart, his words would ring. It's so complicated how we got here, but it's a simple point of fact. We're not lost, we've just been searching, and it's time to come on back. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. We can
You soar through the sky on the wings of a dove. Take a look inside your heart, you know what I'm thinking of. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. We can bring back the dream, we can bring back the love. Once again we can sing, we shall overcome. Someday.
Great, you guys. Oh.
It's a great tune. It's a great tune.
Thank you. Well, I've worked better collaborative, you know, just like
Storm
we all
was
need
coming.
to. Let's work together.
Storm was coming.
Yeah.
People didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still brewing.
Thank you.
I got to bring in Rick and Donna Nestler, who's sitting there in the green room eating pretzels and bagels and cocoa. And Rick Nestler, where the hell you been the last few months? I try.
Hey, you guys.
Oh,
Good to
I've
see
been
you.
around. I've been around.
Been around this world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to have you both back
Well,
From
it's
the-
nice to be back.
from the Catskills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not enough snow to cross country ski, though.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about one tune. It's a little unwoke because it has a line about fatness. When she sings, when the fat lady sings. And but I'm going to sing it anyway because the other parts of it are pretty apt. All of your life, you struggle and strive to get just a little ahead. Days of rest few and far between. You rush from your job to your bed. Someday you'll sit on a nice heap of money. Your mate may wear silk and gold rings. You'll dine on food aplenty. But where will you be when she sings? When she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? You spend all your days caught up in the game. Where will you be when she sings? When it's time to account for your days and your ways, when you're asked to tally the score, they don't add up the piles of pennies, they don't measure the size of your floors. They're more apt to ask how you treated your friends, how you dealt with your enemies too. When the going got tough, did you turn to lie, or stand firm and stick to the truth? When she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? You spend all your days caught up in the game. Where will you be when she sings? Did you give more than you got? Forgive more than you fought? Relish every day? Or let time slip away? Hey, hey, hey. All of your life you struggle and strive to get just a little ahead. Days of rest few and far between. You rush from your desk to your bed. But when she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? You spend all your days caught up in the game. Where will you be? Where will you be? Where will you be when she sings? Where will you be? Where will you be? Where
Nice to hear that song, Andy. Haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah.
That's
It
great.
it's it's a little old. It draws on that figure of speech comes from way back from Yogi Berra, I think. Maybe
So is that
beyond.
one,
Say again?
of yours, Andy?
Yeah, I wrote that a long time ago.
Great.
Where will you be? So, where did we leave off? Andy Chaikin. Yeah. Do you have another tune? you'd like
Yeah. I want to just play one to remember one of my musical heroes who passed away on Christmas, Tony Rice.
Oh,
Brilliant,
gosh.
brilliant bluegrass
Yeah,
guitarist.
Dan Ramey played one of his a week or so ago, drawing on that same passing.
Yeah, I mean, my God, my wife Vicky, who is classical music, very steeped in classical music, said he was the Heifetz of the guitar, and I agree with that. Just a phenomenal player, and had a lovely voice. And I don't know if he wrote instrumental cuts, but he did a lot of covers. So I'm going to do a cover that was written by Gordon Lightfoot called "Home from the Forest." Oh, the neon lights were flashing and the icy wind would blow. The water seeped into his shoes and the drizzle turned to snow. His eyes were red, his hopes were dead, and the wine was running low. And the old man came home from the forest. His tears fell on the sidewalk as he stumbled in the street. A dozen faces stopped to stare, but no one stopped to speak. For his castle was a hallway, and the bottle was only friend. And the old man stumbled in from the forest. Up a dark and dingy staircase, the old man made his way. His ragged coat around him as upon his cot he lay. And he wondered how it happened that he ended up this way, getting lost like a fool in the forest. And as he lay there sleeping, a vision did appear. On his mantle shining the face of one so dear, who loved him in the springtime of a long forgotten year, when the wildflowers bloom in the forest. She touched his grizzled fingers and she called him by his name. And then he heard the joyful sound of children at their game, in an old house on a hillside in some forgotten town, where the river runs down from the forest. With a mighty roar, the big jet soared above the canyon streets. And the con men come, but life goes on, but the city never sleeps. And to an old forgotten soldier, the dawn will come no more, for the old man has come home from the forest.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Tony
I had
especially.
I hadn't heard that one before of him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's on an album called Manzanita that came out in 78, 79 when I was still living in Washington, D.C., working at the Air and Space Museum. And it just was like a thunderbolt. It just completely changed my musical landscape. And got to see him live once and followed his career. He's just, I mean, it's hard to say enough about him. Just fabulous.
So I'm really pleased that the West Coast is awakening, and I had reached out last night to a new friend through Joanne McGarry named Joanne Rand, a wonderful performer and songwriter from out west. 8:30 in the morning there, right? So thank you so much.
Just
for-
walk the dog and
Oh,
I'm ready to go.
good. How are you doing? It's been such a week, and
Yeah,
such a year, and such a decade so far.
Yeah, I have an orange spot on my ceiling that I'm waiting to paint out on the 20th. And I woke up yesterday and I'm like, I have to paint that
I'm
spot
getting
out today.
It took me I hadn't had enough coffee yet. That was great. So
Yeah.
so good morning, and thank you for coming on again.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yes, I was
Yeah.
out in the wilderness yesterday, just getting away from it all. And
And just remind folks where you live. You're in Northern California. I
Northern
think.
California, and happy to be here.
Happy
And
to have you.
it's, we've been in quarantine for a year, and we take it very seriously. So
Yeah,
getting out
Sounds-
into the wilderness is it's wonderful because you can just, it's
Great.
normal. It's still a beautiful world. So
it is. So I'd love to hear from Rick and Donna and you. This is kind of your chunk of time. We're everyone here is welcome to stay on. We might go a little past the noontime hour, East Coast time, so there's no rush here. Rick and Donna, did you have a tune pulled up in your brains? I don't mean like pulled up, queued up like a record.
And we are in tune.
Oh my God.
This you've been asking for since we did it earlier this year, and since he hasn't been with me most of the time, and he sings it, we hadn't done it. So this one's for you, and it also shows that people can be in harmony. Well, I'll try. Who will talk to me? Who will answer me? Who knows why I sing? Who knows the reason why I sing this lullaby? The owls, they are flying. I hear them all sighing through the trees and the curtains as I hear them fly by. With my feet on a limb, my eyes sad and lonely, I sing ooh. Who will talk to me? Who will answer me? Who knows why I sing? Who knows the reason why I sing this lullaby? As their wings touch the sky, I hear their far cry. As they hoo and they coo, I see shadows go by. With my feet on a limb, my heart flies with them, and I sing ooh. Who will talk to me? Who will answer me? Who knows why I sing? Who
you guys. I've never heard you do that.
Ah,
Yeah,
our-
you. That's
it's our
just great.
Hawaiian cowboy song.
Yeah,
It's a
just
Paniolo song.
fantastic. Fantastic. I'd love to find an early version of that. I assume there's somewhere on YouTube. There's like a cowboy singing it or something.
Well, we
Hawaiian
had
cowboy.
when I was in Hawaii, they had gone, like Alan Lomax had gone around. Somebody had gone through a grant, had gone around and recorded the Paniolos, and so that's how we got it.
Very cool.
So I will send you a link at some point. Remind me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Joanne, up in the in Redwood country, Sequoia country, what's on your musical mind early in your morning at 8:30?
I was thinking about a song I wrote 20 years ago or more when I was living in the wilderness, and it's comforting, kind of like the one we just heard. It's a comforting song. So I've heard a lot of, there's so much angst. I think just a little comfort could go a long way. It's a lullaby. It's a love song to this planet, this beautiful planet that holds us all and sustains us all. And if we were all able to sing together, it'd be great, because it's sort of a group song. I love this place. I love this place. I love it, how I love this happy place, this healing place. I love it, how I love this peaceful place, this place with wings. I love it. My happy home, my happy home, my happy home, my happy home. Oh, 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 I love it, how I love this place. I love it, how I love this place. I love it, how I love this grassy place, this rolling place. I love it, how I love this peaceful place, this place that sings. My happy home, my happy home, my happy home, my happy home. Oh, 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 oh. How I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, yeah. So it's a crazy time at hand, and a lot of us are having some sleepless nights and worried days. I haven't seen my parents for 10 months, and my two cousins both have COVID, and praying for them, and just grateful to be home with my beloveds, my family, my husband and my daughter and dog. Grateful for a home, thinking about all those people out there that don't have one. Some of them are camped in our plaza right now, in front of boarded up windows, out in the rain. And I just send a I'm not a Christian, but I'm a spiritual person, and I send out a prayer for this world and for this, first of all, for our planet, that we have the sense to pull back the craziness we are doing on this planet and, slow it down. This has been a good slowing down. Some people call it the great pause. So in some ways, this has been a good time, especially for this planet, but talking about still drilling in the National Arctic Wildlife Refuge. And so we need to pull back the reins and slow things down. And then we need to care about each other. I know we do. We can't let, the media convince us and certain individuals convince us that we don't, because we do care. We care a great deal about one another. We care about our home. And so that's the prayer, that we take care of our home, that we take care of one another, that we take care of our home and our own body and love ourselves in a balanced way. If you have anything else to add to this prayer, please do.
That covers it beautifully, I think, from the body out into the community, out to the earth. Those are the key circles. And that was beautiful. And
Thank you.
I can't believe you can get your voice going that early in the morning so well. That was also beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And there's time for more. We'll go a little longer here, if that's okay. And that includes Rick and Donna again. And Karen, I think you said you had a song that had come to mind. I'd love to slip in one more from you too, at least.
Yeah, and I want to try this song that most of us know, and I was going to sing most of it, but then when the beginning of the song comes around again, I'm going to try to hold out things and see if you guys that know it can kind of echo me a little or add in. I think it could work. But last night I had the strange dream. It's in G. So I'll basically do it by myself until that part. Last night I had the strangest dream I've ever dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war. I dreamed I saw a mighty room all filled with women and men, and the paper they were signing said they'd never fight again. And when the papers all were signed and 1,000,000 copies made, they all joined hands and bowed their heads, and grateful prayers were prayed. And the people in the streets below were dancing round and round. Swords and guns and uniforms were scattered on the ground. Here we go. We'll try this. Maybe you just cover for me. Last night I had
The strangest dream.
the strangest dream. Try it right there. I've ever dreamed
I'd ever dream
before.
before. I dream
A mighty road
a mighty road
apart and
The internet will catch up with us eventually.
It will.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep.
God, it
Thank you.
reaches back so far to, I mean, to think the age that we all are, and that song meant so much to us so long ago and still unrequited, still unfulfilled, but still inspires so much of that hope.
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
Ed McCurdy.
Ed McCurdy. Oh, we've got some nice comments and hearts coming in from around the internets here. Adrian Wald, let's see. Melissa Ortquist, of course, our good friend and good singer and good try. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna keep trying. Gonna keep trying. Lisa Dreyer says, gives a big wow and peace. Karen, that was great. A good try, as they say.
I like the last note. I felt like I could hear all you, and we were kind of together, right?
Yeah, if you let the delay get out of the way, then yeah, we can be together. If you hold it long enough.
Yeah.
There are those lyrics. So I'd like to see what more is coming from the Catskills there. Rick and Donna, what else is in your Leahy-hoo mind? Were you on for was it just last week that Patrick, that you guys, was it Ernie? Was that just last week who did the yodeling?
Yes,
I love to yodel.
Yes, I love to yodel. We brought Ernie in.
Oh my God, that was insane. It was fantastic. I'm so glad we got him in with a good internet connection.
Yeah. No.
So anyway, sorry, I was interrupting myself. Donna and Rick, what you got?
We just changed venue, or just changed ideas because you mentioned cowboy songs.
What key?
Third fret. I'm in B flat. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and my legs ain't bowed, and my cheeks ain't tan. I'm a cowboy who never saw a cow, never roped a steer, cause I don't know how. Sure ain't fixin' to start it now. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I learned to ride, for I learned to stand. I'm a riding fool who is up to date. I know every trail in the Lone Star State, cause I rode them all in my Ford V8. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I come to town just to hear the band. I know all the songs that the cowboys know, that the big corral where the donkeys go, cause I heard them all on the radio. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay.
Williams.
We played out at the Arizona National Livestock Show many years ago, and Rick's like going, "Well, play a Western song." I said, "I don't know any. Don't know any." So on the way back home, I learned I'm an old cowhand. Good old Johnny Mercer tunes. Yeah, real cowboy.
Yeah, right. So many of those real cowboy songs were written in New York City.
Yeah.
Joanne, do you have enough morning voice for another tune?
I certainly do. This one
Great.
kind of ties in with the theme of home, which is the theme of the last one I did. This one is about wanting to go home. I want to see my parents. I'm from Georgia. So proud of Georgia. Yes. And anyway, I want to go home. So it's time. And so one night about, I don't know, 7 months ago, I had this dream and I woke up and wrote this song. Can you hear the guitar? Dreamt I was loping light as a feather across fields of green with my trusty dog beside me. Dreamt I was living in a chapel more fine than anything, full of music, sex, and sensuality. Dreamt I was on the doorstep of my father's wholesome house, and the door was opening before me. I threw back my head and I shouted out with glee, "I have come home to you, Daddy. I have come home. I have come home. I have come home." Truth is that I haven't run for years, and my dog is a stumbling pile. Disease, fire, and famine rule the land, and I fear to go the mile. So it's been 10 long months and counting since I saw my father's door. The masks are off, man is pit against man, and no one knows what for. Oh, I wanna come home. I wanna come home. I wanna come home. I was born and bred to be privileged class, but of the ruling few I see little human left. So smug, so white, so clean, and their children's eyes so keen, lording over fellow man in a game of king of the mountain. Oh, I wanna come home. I wanna come home. I wanna come home. Dreamt I was loping light as a feather across fields of green with my trusty dog beside me. Dreamt I was living in a chapel more fine than anything, full of music, sex, and sensuality. Dreamt I was on the doorstep of my father's wholesome house, and the door was opening before me. I threw back my head and I shouted out with glee, "I have come home to you, Daddy. I have come home. I have come home. I have come home."
Wow.
Oh, it's
Wow.
spectacular.
That was something.
And my sweet dog died like a couple of weeks after that. She was stumbling. She was just had a neurological thing, so she was going downhill. And
Yeah.
but you know, you just got to hang in there. He's
Yeah.
97 years old, my father, and
Um,
you know, he's hanging in there.
My 100-year-old aunt just died the other day.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
'cause-
but that's a great long life. Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And my
Wow.
dad says to me, let's get this man out of office before he pushes the nuclear button. And he also says to me, I'll feel better when I get this vaccine in me. Apparently they sent out to all the elders the form you could fill out if you want the vaccine, and that's the last they've heard. Now it's kind of like,
my dad's nursing. Well, his facility he's in Connecticut. He's getting the vaccine today. At least shot number 1.
What state is he in? Oh, Connecticut.
Yeah, it's a much smaller state, but he's getting it. Yeah. So
congratulations.
He's 93.
Yeah.
And, he's a fascinating guy. Hanging in there. We're all hanging in there. We're all hanging in there here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that tune. That was great. Joanne, it does make me wish for the time when you could be with your band again, because that song is a total band song. I could just hear.
Yes, drums.
Yeah. Could hear that. And your fiddler and your guitar player and all that. So anyway, that was great.
Thank you.
Patrick and Joe, you have a last tune from Beacon there, Beacon, New York.
Well, I just wanted, I asked Pat if we could do this one. It's John Lennon's Imagine. And I know it's like preaching to the choir about here, but I think there's a lot of questions about how do we respond, and this is kind of the Lord's Prayer of how we need to respond right now. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. There's a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
Joe.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh, so wonderful. Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just was saying before this week, I called Patrick this morning. He's like, come over. We got therapy. This is good for you. Come over and do this. So you guys, thank you so much for liking any of it. But it's in my heart. It's all of our hearts. What do we do, you know? And we have to just stick together. And my memory as a kid was the flower in the gun barrel.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think you can't stop. You have to take a bullet, but just keep pushing the love. We can't respond any other way.
That's right.
Until someday, you know.
Yeah.
And
Joe, I want to jump in. There's a Native American thing that, you know, the Constitution in our country was based on the Iroquois Confederacy, the Six Nations. But one of the things that they forgot was in the Six Nation Confederacy, it's necessary to have the beloved woman in the government. They could not go to war without the having a woman within the construct of the Confederacy. So thankfully things are going to get balanced. There was a reason for that. So
I'd like to call this to a wonderful close with that. That was just a beautiful final round here. Joanne Rand from out in Northern California. Thank you for getting up early. Rick and Donna Nestler in the Catskills.
Wow.
Karen Brooks, tend those sheep in Heath, Massachusetts. Patrick and Joe in Beacon, and Andy Chaikin in Vermont, and those who came on earlier. I'm going to close with something recorded from one of our earlier sessions with Tom Chapin that I find is very much worth revisiting periodically here. And I actually used it in one of my quote-unquote serious midweek sessions just a couple of days ago. We had a pretty tough conversation around the turmoil around the Capitol riots. And I brought in this song as a way to cut through some of the tension. And so I'm going to end with Tom Chapin. You'll see him. Don't go away, guys. I think this should come up on your screen. And here goes. I'm pretty sure I hit the right buttons.
Come in, the door is open. You are welcome here. Come in, the door is open. Leave out all doubt and fear. We'll plant a seed together, and together watch it grow, and learn once more what we already know. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. This is how we celebrate our song and dance and art. This is how we touch the future, how we touch the heart. Tell your story to a child and they'll take it as their own. This is how we learn we're not alone. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we found. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. I haven't played this in a while. In our time together, I begin to understand there are bridges we can only cross together, hand in hand. Soon we'll head on homeward, we'll go our separate ways, but these echoes will be dancing down our days. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we found. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble, we will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. Oh,
Wow.
Put my earphones on so I can hear you.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Wasn't that magic? Well, this whole day, this whole morning was
Yes.
magic. Thanks to all of you. So
Thank
go
you,
out,
Andy.
go out into the world, stay safe, hug people from a distance, and come back, including those watching from wherever you are today. Thank you all for being here.
Hello to Lisa.
I will
Yeah.
tell her right away. You're all
Thank you,
with
Andy.
love to
Thank
all of you.
all.
And
Great.
thank you to Andy. Thank you, Karen, for helping us out. And